1840, a great American prophet prophesies about the fate of America, that even this nation will be on the verge of crumbling to pieces and tumbling to the ground. And when the Constitution is on the brink of ruins, these people will be the staff upon which the nation will lean, and they shall bear the Constitution away from the very verge of destruction. Another associate of the prophet, Parley P. Pratt, in 1841, said, or what the prophet said, the government is fallen and is need redeeming. It is guilty of blood and cannot stand as it now is, but will come so near desolation as to hang as it were by a single hair. Is the US on the slippery slope, on the verge, on the edge of the precipice of destruction? Yes. It is guilty of blood? Yes, of course. Is the Constitution destroyed? Yes. On the verge of destruction? Yes. Hi, I'm Architect Perumal Nagapushnam from What's Wrong Out There. Let's begin watching this video on the conditions of what is prevalent in the streets of Philadelphia. Where is the US once a superpower? This condition in this video of the streets of Philadelphia is not even in the Chinatowns of Australia, not even in the underdeveloped nations of Asia, or even in Africa. Let us compare how it was at the formation of the United States and how it was then. Let us now reflect at the depraved conditions and the degradation of what was once a great nation. Comparison number one. Quality of leadership of the US president as it was and as it is now. George Washington was a honest abe known for his honesty. More than any leader of his time, George Washington was recognized as a person of unquestioned moral integrity. He was universally acknowledged as trustworthy, forbearing, and of sound judgment. He believed in his man. He was a man of exemplary character. He treated others with utmost respect. He held his men accountable.
This is a test of your ability to follow very clear instructions. If you pass this test, you'll instantly unlock one of the most powerful machines on the planet. This machine is the secret behind a $6.8 billion industry, with new millionaires being created online every single day. And the exact secret you can unlock right now to create a 100% passive monthly income. Don't believe me? Here are just a few people who have unlocked this machine. Now, I know you see a lot of hype on the internet. Trust me, I'm sick of it too. All these bogus systems and programs that force you into buying products you don't even need, then tell you to sell these products to your family and friends. If you've ever been ripped off before by these scammers who are just in it to take your hard-earned money, I know it doesn't feel good. You deserve much better. We all do. And I'm here to make this a reality for you right now, if you can follow directions. Your first step is to watch this entire video. If you can't do that, click away, go back to your old life. You wouldn't believe how many people cannot follow very simple instructions. So if you can, and you want what I'm about to give you, listen very carefully. The machine you're about to unlock is 100% real, 100% verified, and 100% legit. No potions or lotions or any other junk to buy. No multi-level marketing schemes, and no gurus overcharging you for bad advice. This is the real deal, and I'll prove it to you. Now that I've cracked the code to using this secret machine for myself and hundreds of other people, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it for yourself. Yep, That's right, you may not know me, and that's okay. You'll get to know me later on. For years, I've been helping people from all walks of life ditch their 9-to-5 and pursue a life of freedom.
He loved his man. He placed the welfare of his man ahead of his own. He was personally invested in the cause. Let's compare President Biden's character with George Washington. Watch this video that will explain it all.
We will rescue the Americans in there.
Nope.
We will get our Afghan allies out.
Nope.
And our mission will go on.
Nope.
America will not be intimidated.
Nope. Has 4 direct lies five actually, in a row. The ISIS terrorists will not win. They already have you handed them Kabul. We will rescue the Americans in there. You're not. We haven't been doing large-scale extraction missions to rescue Americans in there. And you've already admitted hundreds, if not thousands of Americans will remain after we leave. We'll get our Afghan allies out. Nope. You just handed a list of them to the Taliban so the Taliban can go shoot them and kill their families. Our mission will go on. Nope. Your mission is over in 4 days. America will not be intimidated. Okay, there's more of this. Okay, it didn't stop. It didn't stop. And by the way, we haven't even gotten to the series of lies that led up to this because this man is a damned liar and Americans are dead because this man is a liar. And thousands of Americans and American green card holders are stuck under the auspices of the Taliban because this man is a fool and a liar. And he tried to blame everybody except for himself. So as we'll see later, he tried to blame Trump, but he blamed his military commanders by saying, we were all unanimous on this. No, you weren't. And we have information suggesting your military commanders were basically all warning you back in February, March, that this was going to happen. And you ignored them because you are a nitwit. Here is our nitwitted president of the United States.
There's been complete unanimity from every commander on the objectives of this mission.
Nope. Unless by unanimity on the objectives of the mission, you mean you told them exactly what you wanted to happen and how many troops they could have to do it, and then they had to somehow scramble to make that happen for you. Okay, so Joe Biden concludes his speech. And again, so much of this was optic as well, if you watched it in real time. He's just not there. He's not there.
We will continue after our troops have withdrawn to find means by which we can find any American who wishes to get out of Afghanistan. We will find them and we will get them out.
So that is him admitting that Americans are going to be left behind. He is asked specifically at one point about this Politico story I mentioned earlier, that the United States handed a list, essentially a kill list, to the Taliban.
So yes, there have been occasions like that. And to the best of my knowledge, in those cases, the bulk of that has occurred, they've been let through. But I can't tell you with any certitude that there's actually been a list of names. I know there may have been, but I know of no circumstance. It doesn't mean it didn't exist. That here's the names of 12 people, they're coming, let them through. It could very well have happened.
That very well could have happened. You're the president of the United States of America. Isn't it of relevance to you whether the U.S. military under your direct command is handing lists of Afghans who worked with us to the Taliban?
Is he honest? With the recent turn of events, he lied openly in the public domain. Watch this video. Judge for yourself. Does he believe in his man? No, he does not. Is he a man of exemplary character? No. Known as a corrupt man who allied with his son, Hunter, to receive money in a corrupted way from Russia and China. Does he treat others with utmost respect? No, he did not even save the Afghan who saved him in the mountain tops when he was caught in the mountaintops, leaving him behind as the Americans were evacuating Afghanistan. When he pleaded to President Biden for help. What sort of human being is this man? Unimaginable. Does he hold his man accountable? No. Recently, General Miller betrayed the office of the US presidency, the highest office, a treason, a treachery, a betrayal of the likes unheard of. Biden's Milley was not held responsible at all. Is he loved by his man? No, not so. He have resigned in protest in the manner he handled the evacuation of the US civilians in Afghanistan. Does he place the welfare of his man ahead of his own? He evacuated the soldiers before the civilians were evacuated, a betrayal of trust to the American people. Is he personally invested in the cause? No. He does not even know the facts as they were in the ground in Afghanistan during the evacuation. Now, let's compare number 2 between the heavily inspired constitution as it was and it is now. Then They believed in God. The Constitution began in the words of, in the year of the Lord. And in the interim, it talks about the Sabbath day. Sabbath day was mentioned and God was cherished in the Constitution. George Washington's motto was, in God we trust. But now, what's the situation now? The belief in God has diminished. God is replaced with the Darwin's theory, Big Bang theories, and prayers removed from schools. Prayers held in the Congress is somewhat even strange. And the Sabbath day is a byword. George Washington, in God we trust. Biden's motto, in them they trust. Listen to this video where Biden trusted and was given instruction by some unknown persons.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donovan.
At least he should have had trusted in his own judgment, supposedly led and inspired by God. Biden's lived a life of a non-believer of God. He supported abortion of children. He lies. He's corrupted. His own leaders of his own faith in the Catholic Church have denounced him. Let's look at comparison number 3. The moral standards as it were and as it is now. Then abortion was not allowed. From 1776 until the mid-1800s, abortion was viewed as socially unacceptable. Now, abortion is rampant. The pro-choice movement has gained momentum. Pro-abortion, pro-choice is battling and with pro-life movement. These are the statistics. In 2018, unmarried women accounted for 85% of all the abortions. Abortion. Approximately 913,000 abortions in the year 2015. As of now, it is not about the abortion of a fetus. At this point, it's about abortion of a baby at the point of birth. This is evil, to kill babies. For the sake of millions of parents who can't have children, just give them away. Killing a baby is wickedness. It is a day of sickness, a sickness of the nation. This is evil. The value and moral standards have been depraved, oddly departing from anything recognizable from the old ways. Let's look at comparison number 4, marriage and the lifestyle. Then marriage was considered noble. Children were born within marriage. Now, marriage is allowed between LGBTs. Children born out of wedlock. 40% of the birth in the US is off and out of wedlock. Divorce of all marriages is about 50%. 41% of all the first marriages will end up in divorce. Comparison number 5, the democracy, the situation of democracy, the right to vote, the right to suffragette. The leader of the democratic world was what United States of America was, the exemplar and the model. Then men were free to vote and were given equal chances to vote for the blacks by Abraham Lincoln, the right to suffragette. Now, voting is manipulated. Many accused of voter fraud. Voters were turned down. Trump and Dr. Shiva accused the voting system was fraud. The standards of election have relegated to that of the third world nation. Where are the exemplars of democracy? The model for democracy is the United States now have become the Socialist Republic of America. Election standards have surpassed lower than the third world nations. Let's look at comparison number 6. The power centers has declared in the Constitution, clarified by Abraham Lincoln at the Gettysburg, declared that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, simply saying the power were invested in the people. The constitutional powers were divided into 3 branches in the US Constitution: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. This is an important decision because it gave specific powers to each branch and set up something called the check and balance. Let us see as it is now, the power centers, the multinationals, the elite, the transnationals, the cabal, the deep state, special interest groups, defense contractors, big techs, the big pharmas, the big corporations. Now watch these videos and you will see where the power centers are in the US as it is now.
See that guy standing next to the president? You know, the one that looks like a butler? His name was Don Regan, the chairman of Merrill Lynch, the richest and biggest retail brokerage firm in the world. He took the key position of Treasury Secretary so he could enact the tax cuts that the rich wanted. Reagan then became White House Chief of Staff as the president started to fade.
Then they should give the president what 43 governors have, a line item veto. And
Who tells the president to speed it up? The man from Merrill Lynch, that's who. Things in America would never be the same again. The country would now be run like a corporation.
we're going to turn the bull loose.
This is an impressive crowd, the haves and the have-mores. Some people call you the elite. I call you my base.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was...
Is the power centered around the president, the executive? Is it around the legislative, the Congress? Or is it in the judicial? President Ronald Reagan was told to speed up by the elite. Look at the arrogance and the self-assurance of the elite to instruct President Reagan. Yes, the bulls have been let loose, according to President Reagan. Who are the bulls? The elite. President Bush once again said that the elite were his base. Watch these videos. President Ronald Reagan was given instructions by a man who spent little time in the White House. This is the power center. Bush went to war in Afghanistan, but who were the decision makers giving instructions from behind to go to war? These videos will show where the centers of power are centered in the US. Conferences were held after the US entered war into Afghanistan on how money can be made in the war.
You can make people do anything if they're afraid.
In the middle of the war, corporations decided to hold a conference to figure out how much money could be made.
Bush went to war in Iraq on the basis of Iraq having weapons of mass destruction, and they found none. He was in the UN and gave fake evidences, false evidences, and convinced the world that and justified why he should go to war. But the real reason to go to war was to make money out of the war. Like Reagan, he was instructed by the base. Watch this video that proves further the undercurrents of the war.
How much are we talking about? Around $2.26 trillion. That's how much America spent in Afghanistan. In other words, $300 million a day. The fact is, most of this money went back to the US. How? Through defense companies and contractors. You see, America basically outsourced the Afghan war. They were funding it, but most of the work was being done by private companies, American private companies. Think of it as a revolving door. US government made the payments, but the money never left America. It was transferred to US companies. The numbers support this. Let's look at the top 5 military contractors: Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman. Between 2001 and 2021, these companies got $2.02 trillion in public funding, $2.02 trillion. It's a massive nexus between arms dealers, politicians, and the White House. Whistleblowers had flagged this nexus. Here's WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange talking about the Afghan war back in 2011.
The goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal.
When Trump was president, he was constantly attacked by the elite, and he was at war with the elite, such as George Soros and even the deep state. Now, openly, Biden says they instructed him. See the video again. See how the elite transnationals have a plan in this war. The elite has a plan. First, to destroy the belief in God. Second, by using the Hollywood to popularize shows such as Big Bang theories and make virtues of transgenderism. And the LGBT has a new way of life. Pro-abortion has a genuine way of life. The weather crisis was created, which is a lie, no basis, no sciences. 21,000 scientists have declared it as fake. And yet the United Nations push the agenda for weather crisis, as if the world was endangered and the crisis was real, that the world's sustainability was in question, which is a lie. By creating a pandemic harmful enough to make believe that the world is in need of a great reset. The great reset, again, is another way to plunder. The great reset by 2030. And the great reset by 2030, another mischief plan of the multinationals is to plunder, is to bankrupt the whole world or using socialist principles, rapine wealth of the common people, using socialist principles where they believe by saying that you will have nothing and you will be happy and everyone will be equally yoked in sustaining the world. The final straw is to enslave the world, but first by destroying the United States, which is almost there. Creating economic downturns, creating world wars, and eventually controlling the world. The greed is real, where sky is the limit. And as the American prophet prophesies, has the Constitution been destroyed? Yes, it is, almost. Power centers are not in the Constitution. The blood stains in the hands of the US? Yes. Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, and the list is endless. Is the economy on the brink of bankruptcy and the precipice of crash, hanging by the hair? Imminent. Economic crash is the rumor of the day. The dollar printing seemed to have caused havoc in the economy. To this end, where is the US bound to? Where are they heading to? And to this end, may God bless America. If you have learned something new, please click the subscribe button and please share it to your friends. I'm Architect Promalanga Krishnan from What's Wrong Out.